I probably got to upgrade Home Assistant for the 10th time this week. New devices. BT Home. Okay, well, maybe something the neighbor may have put in their house. We'll give it a shot. Wait, temperature and humidity sensor? Bluetooth? Oh, those are those Shelly sensors I ordered. Hey, OG,
Yes, sir?
go get the mail. What it was the Shelly new little Bluetooth temperature humidity thing. They come ready to go, and as you could see, auto discovery right into freaking Home Assistant. So, but how did we get there? Let's jump back because we're going to talk about Bluetooth Proxy and how to do that in the Home Assistant in many ways. And one of them is super simple without any config, flashing, soldering, or anything, but you know the channel. We are going to go into depth and show some additional ones as well because everybody does everything differently and has their own likes and dislikes. So let's see how we got to this first. So how do you exactly get these various devices and a whole lot more into Home Assistant? And yeah, you saw it was just auto discovery. I mean, the damn things were in the mailbox, crossed the yard, and picked up. It really confused me at first. I was like, what are these new sensors? And then, yeah, it really dawned on me that they were sitting in the mailbox and there's no battery tabs on those. So they're just sending out the Bluetooth broadcast. And my Home Assistant Bluetooth proxies picked them up, brought them in, boom, that's it. Now, they're going to go over a bunch of different ways to do this, but I know a lot of you out there are probably going, well, hey, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for your long-ass videos, Digi. I just want something. You tell me the best. Tell me the easiest way to do this, and yeah, I want to jump to the end, right? Well, I'm going to make a chapter just for you. If you want something super simple, go grab you, like, say, a Shelly plug. This is the Shelly plug US that has Bluetooth capabilities. Now, there are newer little Shelly modules as well that have Bluetooth. You can use those in wall, etc. There's no software, there's no nothing. I'll show you that one. It's stupid simple. It just put it on your Wi-Fi, click a few little check boxes, and boom, you're in Home Assistant, auto discovering all different devices, including even stuff like the Govee Life little temperature sensors that are great. They run on AAA's. And yeah, you can see it's not as Shelly branded, so it's not just having to stick to all this Shelly stuff. I have a list of stuff that I have tested and checked out on my website, but again, it's not the exhaustive list of all of that. There's so much more that happens with Bluetooth. There's all the SwitchBot stuff, the little SwitchBot button pushers, the temperature sensors, even the SwitchBot locks will be popped in using Bluetooth. They are doing a little encryption, but they're not hard to add in there. How, if you want to dig into a little bit more of, hey, I don't want to do just a Shelly device. I want my own software on it because, again, yeah, you're the supervisor, is basically we're going to be throwing Bluetooth proxy software from ESP Home on this little ESP32. We're going to do it on a couple different things. I did a different video, again, on the Wise outdoor plug. That's ESP32, so it becomes Bluetooth proxies outside. And leading into that, well, how many Bluetooth proxies do you need? Well, how big is your McMansion? Do you have this 6,000 square foot thing and you want to have all these different sensors? Well, you may need several Bluetooth proxies, and no worry about them overlapping, because if you just want to put one in every damn room, go right ahead, because Home Assistant is smart enough. It takes and deduplicates all of those packets and everything. You won't end up with 10 different devices because, 10 different proxies picked up that one Bluetooth device. It's pretty damn slick. Stuff just pops in, change the name, and call it a day. Now, what exactly is a Bluetooth proxy, did you? Well, think of this. This is the little ESP. This is going to be, the little antenna has Wi-Fi, and it has the capability of doing Bluetooth. Now, you can't do this with the ESP8266 that does not have Bluetooth, and also the Beacon chipsets that we've gone over with Tuya Cloud Cutter. That's not Bluetooth on those as of yet. I haven't seen anything come out for that on the ESP Home side yet. Now, what a Bluetooth proxy is going to do, you put the software on there. We're just going to go to a web page, and you'll see in a later chapter, is we'll just take and load the software on the proxy. It's going to take all the Bluetooth packets and shoves it back to Home Assistant, and Home Assistant does its thing there. So it's kind of just a dumb pipe per se of things for Bluetooth. Now you say, well, Bluetooth is 2.4 gigahertz. Well, so is Wi-Fi. Now you start to see the issue there where you may be stepping on each other, and that's the issue with some of these Wi-Fi ones is they switch back and forth. They do Wi-Fi, then Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and we go back and forth. So you may have some little delays there, or you may have a lot of Wi-Fi traffic. Now, how can you get around that? Well, absolutely. You can get around that using an ESP32 with Ethernet. Now, there's a couple different ones out there. And I guess it would help if I have all my props ready. I had this one in use. There's a couple different ones out here. This is just a little case I did. I printed it out. I think it was on Maker World or something like that. And this is the TT Go. But you can see there's an ESP30 chip right here. And then it has power over Ethernet. So you could put these anywhere in the home, throw a case on it, call it done. Same thing for those. There's a couple different ones. Now, this one I don't really like, but tons of different ways to do all of your Bluetooth proxy. And again, if you're one of those ones that just want to do the Shelly plug and not have to deal with anything else, and you can just plug these around the house or these modules, just skip to that next little chapter there. And of course, you'll find all the links to all this crap down here, and they possibly, most of them will be affiliate links, and the way those do work, there's no additional funds to use. So yeah, let's jump to that chapter, and then we'll skip to doing some of this other stuff. How's my hair doing? Looking okay? All right. So the simple way is, yeah, if you want to just grab some Shelly stuff, just be mindful of which ones you get. I know they've had some previous models, but say like the Shelly plug. I cannot speak for the plugs like over across the pond, but do take a look on your Shelly stores over there. But do make sure it actually says, it'll say like Bluetooth. It's like in the specifications. See how this one shows Bluetooth protocol right here. Then also, if you want to look at this, is, of course, this is covering all the countries pretty much, given that these are the cool little in-wall power monitoring without relays. Really love those things. They also talk about Bluetooth gateway. So pretty much any device that's Shelly, you can just take it out the box, and if it has the Bluetooth gateway, you can do exactly this. Basically, once you take the plug and you just add it to your Wi-Fi, you don't need to use their app or anything. Just plug it in. It's going to come up as an access point, and then you can go in and add it to your network. It's pretty simple to do. I'm not going to go through all of that here on the web interface. You don't even need to go toggle any of the Bluetooth stuff. I do recommend, though, which I probably will show the interface, turn off the access point mode if you're not using their app, but you don't need it blasting that access point mode all the time. So basically, it's auto discovery in Home Assistant. For the most part, if your network is normal, I can't speak this evening. If you hit configure, and you can see, and this is even going across my VLANs, I have no issue picking them up. I'm grabbing that because I want to go to the web interface, and then just hit submit. It's not battery powered. And then it's going to say Shelly plug US or whatever it is, whatever module, hit finish. And then go down here and you should see Shelly now. And if you go to Shelly, you see we got right now the Shelly plug US, and it's configured. Now I want to go over here and we can visit it. If we go to this one, this should bring us up to the interface actually on the actual plug itself or relay module or whatever. One thing I wanted to point out is do make sure and click this access point and turn off the access point mode if you notice it's on. I've seen them just get stuck on. Now you'll notice Bluetooth is I think it's on, but you don't have to go toggle it because Home Assistant does that for you from what I found. Go back to your Shelly integration, and you may have multiple devices. And I'm not configuring this one. This is on my little test box. This is actually in the pool pump and stuff. I guess I could if I wanted to, but if you hit configure, you'll see it says Bluetooth scanner mode. Now, if you just want passive, that's totally fine. But if you want to get into some of those two-way things, like say some of the, the switch bot locks and different things. You can do the active. I like to do the active. I haven't found it makes a big impact or anything on some of the devices, but it forces a kind of a pull for them. So if you're really worried about batteries and using a lot of coin cell stuff, maybe leave it on passive. And then if you find something that doesn't work, then switch it to active if you need it. I'm just going to go ahead and hit active on mine, just boss hog through it, right? Hit submit and then hit finish. And then you could go back and you should start to see all your various devices that are going to pop into, showing as new devices. So like you can actually see there's some stuff popping in now. There's this Inkbird stuff. I've got this Thermo Pro thing, and they're pretty much there. So if just like before, if you wanted to hit configure, now the problem is, I will tell you, when you get a bunch of stuff at one time and it's just going to come in as just these weird random names, a lot of times this will be the Mac ID that is like, say, the last, 4 B295 may be on that device. Not everyone is like that. You may have to go find them. They may not even have the Mac ID posted on them, which can be a problem. But once you start to add in a bunch of them, go in and rename them because you're going to get lost. I like to also, if I don't have the Bluetooth thing on there, I may like put my own designation or put a sticker on it or something like that, because you will get them confused. But pretty much just hit configure and that's it. And hey, pick your area if you want. Boom, it's done. You get Bluetooth BT home. There's humidity and temperature from the Shelly sensors, and that's it. You can start to do all your automations, build your cards, do whatever. There's no loading software. There's no doing anything. Just click all the check marks and plug them in. Go buy you a bunch of damn Shelly shit and put it around the house and call it a day. And there's the easy way to add Bluetooth Proxy to Home Assistant. And you don't have to watch my whole damn video. But if you want to check out the other ESP32 stuff, hang out. Now, what proxies do I like to use? There are a couple ones. Let's start with the Wi-Fi ones first. So you've seen some of these little boards before. There's like the ESP32 right here. This is the little dev boards. You just plug them in through the little USB port. Just plug them into the little USB port and program them straight using the ESP Home webpage, and nothing else to them. But keep in mind, you will need to figure out a case to do your own thing. Like if you want to do a little soapbox for them or something like that, and you will need like a little phone charger. Same thing, dev boards all come in different shapes and sizes. I do prefer really the stability of the regular ESP32. It'll see like DOWD, like dowd. It's kind of how I remember them. That's like this right here. It'll say D0 or dowd, like well endowed. That's the stupid way I remember which ones are the ones for the dual core. And these are great little boards. I got these off of AliExpress. They're cool. They are USB-C, and they're like WeAct or something like that. Now you really don't need the 8 megabyte flash, or 8 megabyte. And you can do 4 megabyte, it's fine. And I've used these on little phone chargers, no issues. It just pops right in. Now this ESP32C3 Super Mini, I'm not a big fan of this guy. And the ESP32C3 for Bluetooth Proxy is just not really a good choice at this time. I prefer the stability of the old school dual core ESP32. Now, of course, these are all going to be Wi-Fi, so the problem is it's going to also encumber your Wi-Fi with that Bluetooth traffic. So how do we get it off of, oh, now I want to skip, don't want to forget this one. This is the M5 stack. This M5 stack is ESP32, has USB-C, comes in a plastic case. And yeah, you can just throw it on top of a little phone charger and plug it in behind a couch or something like that. Really cool little devices here. I just have mine thrown on this little GPS module, and I actually have it outside playing around with some of the GPS stuff. So all great little choices, as well as if you want something outside. I have to zoom out on this one. I've done the Wise plug outdoor. Y'all link that video down in the description. A great plug. It's ESP32. There's no solder methods that I do for flashing ESP Home. And then you get power monitoring and 2 plugs and a great little package for outdoor. Too bad these aren't on closeout anymore. At Home Depot, they were like going for $5 a pop. That's a damn steal. But you can still get them like around, I don't know, $15, $20 for this power monitoring plug, and also do Bluetooth proxy. I know we talked a little bit about the Shelly stuff. The Shelly Plug US, the little Shelly modules here, the new ones that have Bluetooth, you can bring those in using the stock software. You do not have to change the firmware on these. The stock firmware from Shelly works great. It works with Home Assistant, pops in, they become Bluetooth proxies for all the things. How awesome is that? You can buy this damn plug, take it out the box. You don't even need Shelly's app. You can pair it up using the access point mode, bring it into your Wi-Fi that could not even have internet access, and then bring it into Home Assistant. Now, I would recommend upgrade the firmware on it. Use the little firmware upgrade thing in Home Assistant, and then you really could block it from the internet again. How awesome is that you can do that with an off this shelf product such as Shelly that they've done with theirs. Pretty cool. That hats off to them for doing those. But those are, again, that's going to be Wi-Fi. So what if I don't want to do Wi-Fi? Well, let's start off with the one I don't like. So I did like the M5 stack of the Wi-Fi one. This was the M5 stack. It's out of the case. There's a little plastic case somewhere. Yeah, you can see I stuck it in this bag for now. You say, well, what the hell is this other thing on it? Well, the problem is with this guy is you do need to take it apart, and then you use the little pin headers on the side here. And you do have to get a flasher. So if you don't have a TTL USB flasher, well, you may not be part of this channel if you don't have one yet. But yeah, you do need to flash it manually. And then the other part is, well, they expected you to use it over Ethernet. Well, there's no antenna on it. So you have to buy and add another antenna right here, which is kind of stupid. So let's not do that one. What about you have another one, did you? Well, let's talk about another bad one. The Olimex. It's not too bad, but damn, these things get hot, dude. Check this case out. So I printed this case, and I've been using it for maybe 6 months. You can see already right here, it's like burnt the case already. It's cracked and everything. You can even see on the back here, this thing gets super hot on the back of this Olimex. They use like 2.5 watts according to the switch. They do work. And you can just take and plug in, boom, bring it into the little ESP home flasher, and boom, you're done. And it pops right in. That's all fine and dandy. It's great. They do work power over Ethernet. But the heat issue. So I printed this case out. Now this one's a little differently, and I'll leave the link to this one as well. I kind of like this one because of the form factor, and it runs freaking cool as hell. It only used like 1 watt or so according to the switch. And the only downside is you do need to make sure and buy their little flasher. But all you got to do is just hold it in. All you do is you hold it into the pins right there, and it's their little flasher, and it plugs in USB micro or NAT, whatever it is, the older school one, and then you also USB-C options. And then you can flash the firmware right onto it. I'll leave the link down for this one. I did have to do the little different firmware for this guy here. The pins are a little different, but it's not bad. And of course, you could add other stuff to this. I'm just using it for Bluetooth proxy. It does have the antenna, if you can see right up there off the board, and it will pick up all the Bluetooth things. So yeah, and then it goes in a nice little case. If you have a 3D printer, or you could throw it into something else and call it a day, if I can figure out how to put the case back on like an idiot. And pretty slick little device there. So hopefully you got a bunch of different things about choices and everything. Now, I'm not going to go over all of the devices and everything, what you can pick up with Bluetooth proxy and everything. There's just stuff getting added all the time. But the awesome part is once you throw in a bunch of Bluetooth proxies into your Home Assistant stuff, it just is quite awesome. You just take stuff out the box, like these new little sensors, and they just pop right into Home Assistant, and you don't have to do any like configuring and YAML crap and everything. It's pretty damn awesome what they've done with Bluetooth Proxy, and you can just drag stuff around. I got, as you could see, Bluetooth Proxy all the way in the front. I got Bluetooth Proxy stuff all the way in the backyard in the chicken coop that runs automations on battery powered devices. And just using, like, I've got an outdoor plug out on the back patio, and it picks up, and I also pick up the pool temperature of one of the little floating pool temperature things from Inkbird. Another thing is you want to put stuff in your freezer, and use AAA batteries in your freezer, please. And you can do your freezer refrigerator temperatures right off of Bluetooth Proxies, and they have no issues picking that up in the refrigerator and freezer. So there's other products out there. Definitely let me know about them and see what other ones are. I like to see all the cool Bluetooth Proxy stuff that pops in. I really have loved it. I've been using it since it came out for what, probably a year or two or more. Can't remember. It's been a really great asset to Home Assistant. So let's go jump into putting ESP Home on some of these. Just do the cool stuff, right? So what you want to do, go ahead and plug in, really difficult, USB-C to USB-C. You can even do USB-A to C on your own computer if you don't have USB-C. Plug them in. You may have to go load some drivers like the CP2102, but we'll get to that in this little segment here. So where do you get the software to put on those guys? Well, I like to just come to esphome.io, just type in Proxy, and boom, we got Bluetooth Proxy. So then go to the Proxy installer site, and there it is. I want a Bluetooth Proxy. Yep, sure do. I've got a generic ESP32, absolutely. There's the M5 stack. There's the Olimex that I really don't really like. It says not for ESP32C3s. Again, remember that dial that doubled endowed? That's that dual core. Just remember that. And yeah, it's really stupid, but you'll probably never forget it. What Digi calls the ESP32 well endowed. So hit connect. There is the serial port, and we'll hit connect. So we're going to install Bluetooth Proxy. Yep, it's going to erase whatever's on the ESP32 chip. So you probably don't have anything on there. But if you do, go buy another one. I left the links for you. Hit install. And that pretty much should be it. Don't navigate away from the screen. Let it do the installation. It's going to go through and erase the chip. If you do get some errors on there, like, hey, it can't connect, you're missing the driver, but they do have kind of a walkthrough for some of the drivers. But if you go look for, just Google for like CP2102, there's a couple different chipset ones out there. Or if you're in Windows, just go to Windows Update and look for the optional updates and make sure and hit install. A lot of times that will fix that as well to automatically get them for you. So just let this do its thing. I'm not going to talk and bore you for 2 minutes. I know I could about some random crap, but yeah, let's skip past this. So once it's done, we'll hit next. Pretty awesome part is you don't have to do the access point mode stuff. It's going to start to configure your Wi-Fi right here. Pick your network, go ahead and put the password in, call it a day, and hit connect. Or you can hit skip. I think it does the access point mode, but I'm not going to do that. So don't fat finger your password. There's no little eyeball thing here. You may want to type that into Notepad or somewhere where you can see it and then copy and paste it in there. I like to do that so I can see my password. I didn't fat finger it and screw it up. It's going to try to connect and configure. Pretty cool feature. And then if you really want to add it to Home Assistant, you can, but it should auto-discover straight into Home Assistant itself. I think I've got a couple Home Assistants on here, so I'm not going to go that route. So I'm going to hit skip. When I come over here to my test box, I should, oh look, new device. I think I've configured this one before. Now, I've used this name before. This is one of my Bluetooth proxies, so it's just going to come up as the name. Yours will be a little bit different. It should just come like the ESP Home. We'll see what name it pops in. Yeah, see, it just says Bluetooth Proxy. Yours won't say that WeAct. It'll say like Bluetooth Proxy and the name we just saw in the previous flasher. And then hit finish. And that's it. It will start to bring in stuff because now when you see ESP Home, let me get this out the way. Now, when you come in here, there's nothing really to do because Bluetooth Proxy is already configured and everything on it for you. So you just need to let it add to Home Assistant. You'll notice we didn't even have to add anything, like we didn't even have to go into ESP Home or anything like that. It's not having to configure any YAML files or whatever. Just using the flasher off of their website, and it pops straight in, even keeps their firmware up to date. It'll tell you if it's behind. So if you don't want to dig off and add a bunch of ESP Home stuff, you don't have to. But I say for that Lily Go, TT Go Internet one, whatever PoE thing, you will need to do at this time your own ESP Home, do your compiles there. And of course, if you just want to do your own devices and change things, of course, you'll do that in ESP Home. But that's a little more advanced, and other things maybe we'll show if you want to interested in seeing how I do that. Let me know down in the comments below. I was trying to keep this one somewhat short and not doing a whole thing on ESP Home Bluetooth proxy. But maybe we could do that one if I get enough people that say, yeah, go ahead and do that crap. Did you? Just like before, if you didn't watch the Shelly segment one on the plug, is you should start to get notifications. Now, I've already done it with the Shelly plug on this one. You should start to get notifications of various different devices. Like say if you have some Inkbird stuff or some SwitchBot stuff, it's going to start to just pop in. Give it a second and start to load in, and that's it. And you would just pick configure. Say if I want to configure this Goovy thing or Govy, however you say it. I always screw the name up, right? Go down, pick that, boom. And you can see we've got temperature 75 degrees, 48% battery, and that's it. Yeah, there it is. So 1.8 degree Fahrenheit. And yeah, you can start to do all the things. You want to do automations based on, hey, the temperature gets too high. And well, alert you, send you a notification to your phone, blast all the bulbs in the house red and turn them off and on because the freezer door was left open by the damn kids getting ice cream for the 10th time tonight. So yeah, enjoy. You'll find all the links to everything. Go find some other sensors and cool stuff. You'll see all those links for my website down below. And of course, if you find some other cool stuff and can't wait to share it with me, don't feel like leaving a comment, join my Discord. It's a blast, I promise. So hopefully you were able to figure out some devices, learn a couple things, figure out Bluetooth proxy. It's stupid simple. Of course, no different whether you're running supervisor, home assistant, container, whatever way you're doing it, LXC, the whole 9, VM, whatever, Raspberry Pi. And yeah, I do know that some of those chipsets come with Bluetooth stuff right out the gate, but even the devs say Bluetooth proxy is definitely the way to go for doing your devices in Home Assistant Bluetooth. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other stuff comes out. I like to see that Shelly is really embracing the whole BT Home product line of protocol and everything, and definitely let me know down below if you see some other stuff that we'd like to cover and do on the channel. So that'll about do it for this one. Y'all know the drill. Press all them buttons and y'all take care.